This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez. We end today's show with the late Robert Redford. In his own words, the legendary Oscar-winning director, actor, and activist died at his home in Sundance, Utah, at the age of 89 Tuesday. In addition to being a Hollywood icon, Robert Redford was a longtime environmental activist who served for 50 years as a trustee of the Natural Resources Defense Council. He was also the creator of the Sundance Film Festival, where I would often interview him over the last decade. This is part of an interview we did in 2015 in Park City.
I think the deniers of climate change are probably people who are afraid of change. They don't want to see change. They want to hang on to the way things were. And my feeling about the deniers and a lot of other issues that are out there is that too many in Congress are pushing us back into the 1950s. That's what it feels like. They're pushing us back in time rather than forward in time. And I think, why is the reason? Maybe they're afraid of not being able to be included. I don't know what it is, but it's kind of sad because it's so polarized, you know, it's so mean-spirited.
They also often say that we need this oil to move forward in America.
Well, we also need alternative energy, too. I mean, I think that's the future. I don't think oil is the future. I think it should probably stay, and this is going to be an unpopular view, but I think, because I worked in an oil field as a kid, I worked in the Chevron oil fields in California. So I've had a lot of experience with oil. I think it should stay in the ground now. And I think that we're so close to polluting the planet beyond anything sustainable. I think we better say, let's stop this argument about alternative energy is not going to produce enough jobs. And to me, that's a mistake because it would produce an industry, and an industry would produce jobs. So I think somebody's got to speak up for the fact that alternative energy is the way of the future. Not oil, certainly not coal and gas. So that's my feeling.
And your thoughts on the oil barons, the Koch brothers? It's just been announced that they and their allied groups will pour $900 billion into the next election, doubling what they did in the last election. $900 million into the next election.
Money's the name of the game. I mean, I think money is what moves the ball, and they're moving the ball in their direction. I think it's the wrong direction. It's very narrow-minded, but they have the money to do it, so it's a free country.
So some people might be saying right now, why am I talking to this famous actor, an Oscar-winning director, about issues like the environment and money and politics?
Well, because I've been I guess you could call me an activist since 1969. I've been involved in the environment from the standpoint of wanting to draw attention to what an alternative could be rather than what we've been having. And I remember when I was at a conference in Vail, Colorado, and they talked about where all the energy was going, all the effort and the energy and the money was going to oil, gas, coal, and nothing was being contributed to the alternative energy. And I thought, well, why? This stuff is going to run out. It's not infinite. It's going to run out. And it's costly. And it pollutes our planet. If somebody doesn't start thinking about what we're going to develop for our survival, because I think we are a development-oriented society, it's going to be a question of what we develop for our survival and what we preserve for our survival. And I think there's been little to no talk about preservation because those people that you're talking about, the McConnells and people like that, they're living so far in the past. They're living so much in the past. Seems like they're afraid of the future.
Can you believe that the Sundance Film Festival is 31 years old?
No.
Do you think of it as one of your children?
You know, it's interesting. I think of it, because it was a big idea back in 1985. It was a big idea with a small start, because there was no support. There was only one theater in Park City. Sundance, the place, is not here in Park City. It's 40 miles away, higher up in the mountains, tucked away. It's where our lab programs are. That's where the development process is. That's where our nonprofit Sundance Development for the documentaries and the film and the theater and so forth, music. Park City works out for us because They have something we need, which is theatrical distribution capability. And we give them something they need, which is a venue to attract people. So the first year, there was maybe 150 people that showed up. We had one theater, maybe 10 documentaries and 20 films. And now it's grown to the point where it's kind of like a wild horse. You know, I can't begrudge it. I mean, that was the dream. It started as just a hope. And then when it became a reality, it started to have its own momentum.
And the point of it, since you certainly, have great acclaim in Hollywood, you didn't need another venue, as all the creative ways you participate in the film industry, as director, as an actor. So why Sundance? You had it made.
In 1980, the industry began to be more centralized, and they were following the youth market because that's where the money was, which I understand. But it looked like it was going to be at the expense of some of those other films that were more about the humanistic side of cinema, stories about America, American way of life, complex stories. And so, in my mind, I thought that was very valuable. I thought that's a wonderful use of film. You can have the big blockbusters. You can have, with technology coming along, creating more special effects possibilities. You knew that they were going to use that, and that's great. But I felt it was going to be at the expense of giving up those other kinds of films, so that's what led to Sundance. I thought, well, what if we can start a development process where young artists can have a voice, but we can help them develop their skills so they can at least get their films made. That was the lab that started in 1980. Then, once that happened and we started a development process at Sundance, suddenly realized that we were helping them develop their skills so they could get their films made, but there was nowhere to go because the mainstream had not allowed any space for them. And that led to the idea of a festival. So originally it was just an idea that maybe we can have a community of filmmakers coming together and share each other's work. And maybe if we're lucky, somebody will come, somebody else will come.
Thanks for watching Democracy Now! On YouTube. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to make sure you never miss a video. And for more of our audience-supported journalism, go to democracynow.org, where you can download our news app, sign up for our newsletter, subscribe to the daily podcast, and so much more.